Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Adriel Boals of Hobnob Games. This is the fifth tutorial of our beginner series, in which we're going to be discussing pre-flop 3-betting. As always, you can find us at hobnob.games. So today we want to talk about 3-betting. I want to start by talking about what is a 3-bet. Every experienced poker player is very familiar with the term 3-bet, but beginner players may not be. So let's walk through it. In essence, a 3-bet means a re-raise. So let's walk to how we get to a re-raise. In poker, we have blinds. It's a blind bet because players have to put a bet out, the two players in the small blind and big blind, before they even see their cards. But if anyone were to call, which is sometimes called limping, the blind, this is essentially the first bet or a 1-bet. But if someone were to then decide to raise, then that is essentially a 2-bet. Now, it's very rare that, if ever, you're going to hear poker players use the term 1-bet and 2-bet. Instead, we just use the terms a call, a limp, or a 2-bet. But if someone then decides to re-raise, that essentially is a 3-bet. And that's where the terminology comes from. So which hands do we want to 3-bet with? Well, in our last tutorial, we talked about which cards we should be playing with pre-flop. And we decided that these hands are so strong that not only are they strong enough to be raising with, we can even call pre-flop raises with these hands. But what if someone has already raised pre-flop before the action gets to you? Are there some hands that we should be re-raising with? And the answer is absolutely yes. We want a 3-bet with our premium hands. And by premium hands, I'm referring to these 4 specific hands: pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, and ace king. These hands are so strong that we should be re-raising any other previously raised hands. But what size should we re-raise to? And I think that bet sizing is a very underappreciated skill that separates elite poker players from amateur players. In the game limit poker, the size of the bets are predetermined for the players. There's not much skill. In fact, there's no skill in bet sizing in limit poker. But in no limit Texas Hold'em, players can make whatever bet size and bet raises they would like to make, all the way up to all in. So it's important to know what are some good bet sizing. Well, when we're talking about 3-betting, a good rule of thumb is 3x plus 1x for each limper. In this scenario, x refers to the size of the previous raise. Well, for the moment, let's not worry about that plus 1x for each limper. Let's just walk through a simple scenario in which there are no previous limpers. So let's say we're playing a 1-2 game in which the blinds are $1 and $2, and a player before you raises to $8. You look down and you have one of these 4 premium hands and you want to re-raise. How big should we re-raise them? Well, we want to go 3x. What is x? X in this scenario, the size of the previous raise, was $8. So 8 times 3 is going to be 24. So we want to re-raise this player to $24. Okay, well, let's take the more complicated scenario in which we do have some limpers before the raise. So again, let's say we're once again playing in a 1-2 game, and let's say that 2 players just call. They just called for $2, and then another player raises to $8. Then the action's on you. You've got one of these 4 premium hands, and you want to 3-bet it. What's our bet sizing? Well, we want to do our 3x, but we have 2 limpers before the raise, so we want to add 1 more x for each of those 2 limpers, which is going to make a total of 5x. So if we were to go 5x, x here again is $8. That was the size of the previous raise. So in this case, 5 times $8 is $40. So in this scenario in which we had 2 pre-flop limpers before the raise, now our bet sizing is going to be to $40. If you do a good job of 3-betting these premium hands and using this bet sizing technique, I guarantee you're going to see your win rate go up, because now you've added another weapon to your poker arsenal in terms of 3-betting premium hands and using optimal bet sizing. In our next tutorial, we're going to be talking about 3-betting part 2. Specifically, we're just going to focus when you have pocket jacks, because pocket jacks is a very unique scenario in terms of 3-betting. As always, you can find this tutorial along with all of our tutorials at hobnob.games, where you can download and play on our poker app. I'll see you next time.